Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. Today we're going to be going over some of the last promos that the CW has released before The Flash's series finale tomorrow night. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. Okay, so we're talking about the series finale of The Flash. That means the final episode ever. That is A New World Part 4. That is the 4th episode of the final graphic novel. This episode is going to be huge. We all know it. We know who's going to be returning. We're going to be breaking down a bunch of photos that they released as a sneak peek into the episode. Obviously, we'll have some sort of sneak peek scene tomorrow that's released. If I get time, I'll be sure to break that down. And also we have an interesting article from EW that we're going to be talking about at the end of this video. So for now, let me go ahead and give you some brief context as to what's going to be happening in this final episode of The Flash. So this is how it goes. The final run. The Flash, the fastest man alive, is tasked with his greatest challenge yet, to save the timeline and to save existence. Friends old and new gather for an epic battle to save Central City one last time. Obviously, this is episode 13 of season 9, the final episode. It's going to be coming out tomorrow night on May 24th. So we're obviously going to be breaking it down, so stick around for that. That's going to be a video that will come out right after the episode finishes, like an hour after. But that gives you some brief context. We know this episode is going to be all about trying to stop Cobalt Blue, and Cobalt Blue is going to bring in some familiar foes from the Flash's past in order to try and defeat him once and for all. And meanwhile, Barry's going to try and save the timeline because of those kind of aberrations in time, I guess you could call them, and also save existence from being controlled by Cobalt Blue. So let's go ahead and jump into the images that have been released. We got 4 photos that showcase different parts of the episode. So the first photo you can see on the screen right here is of Barry and Iris, and they are at the hospital, it looks like, because Iris is here, she's in a hospital gown, and she is very clearly about to give birth. And so this is something that they've been leading up to this whole season. Like, we've known Iris is going to get pregnant, she's going to have Nora, and Nora is going to be a real thing. We also saw in the extended trailer earlier this week, I made a video on that, you can go check that out. Nora is actually featured in the hospital and she's waiting for herself to be born. Obviously that's a big timeline risk and they actually point that out in the trailer, but I don't think they're going to go too deep into that in terms of, you know, her being there while she's being born. But this is obviously a crucial scene, and we've also seen in the trailer that Cobalt Blue, Eddie Thawne, is going to show up at the hospital probably before Iris gives birth or just after Iris gives birth. He offers her some like blue roses, I believe. So not even Iris is going to be safe from Eddie whilst giving birth. Obviously he's not going to try and attack her because I think that's even more diabolical than Eddie is willing to go. However, he's willing to go a long way in order to get back at Barry and everyone for basically forgetting about him and taking his life, as he's previously said. But yeah, Barry and Iris are holding hands here. Barry's supporting Iris, but I presume at one point he's actually going to have to run off in order to try and stop the threat to Central City. It's obviously very fitting that this is all happening and Barry's facing off against his greatest enemies whilst, you know, this new life is being born that is going to set his future down a certain path. So this is going to be the ultimate test to Barry. But moving on to the next photo, this is the best photo I have seen in a long time. And this is in a very red looking room. Again, I theorized about this in a past video that I'm pretty sure the reason for the red is there is some sort of negative speed force storm going on and everything is red. Like we've seen in various different shots, Cobalt Blue is there in red. And now we get to see 3 of Barry's greatest villains from the past. That being, starting from left to right, Zoom, played by Teddy Sears, with his mask off, which is just extra exciting because it's great to see Teddy in the role and it's not just a stunt double. And then next to him we have Godspeed, who is definitely not one of the Flash's greatest villains, but it's cool to see him because he is among the speedsters that Barry has faced in the past. Yeah, he's probably the worst villain out of all of these guys. Obviously we have Savitar too, but I don't think Savitar is going to fit in this house with his big chunky suit. And so on the right of Godspeed and Zoom is of course, the infamous one and only Tom Cavanagh as Reverse Flash. It was actually previously reported that this was going to be Season 1 Reverse Flash. I'm wondering why he is wearing this new Reverse Flash costume that we've seen in the past couple of seasons, because if it's Season 1 Reverse Flash, why would he have this suit by now? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's amazing to see them all lined up next to each other, fully unmasked. And this does look like the West household, and I think they've broken in, and we're seeing them face off against Barry, presumably in the present day. Or this could be the first time that they've all shown up, and this is Cobalt Blue who has summoned them, and they are here, they are listening to him. You can see on their faces, Tom Cavanagh smiling, and the other two are very kind of intently staring, but kind of smirking a little bit. And maybe they're listening to the plan from Cobalt Blue of how to try and take down the Flash once and for all. I've said this previously, I think I'm very interested to see how they actually team up together, because as I've said before, I don't think it makes much sense that Reverse Flash is teaming up with anyone else, and also Zoom teaming up with anyone else. I talked about how Zoom is a serial killer and he wants to kill everyone, and clearly the Flash is his greatest enemy too, but he would just want to kill the Flash straight up. And I think Reverse Flash is more about toying with the Flash. Obviously he does want to kill him, and he's tried to kill him many times before, but I don't think Reverse Flash would want to let the others kill him first. So I think it's going to be a race between all of them to kill the Flash, because they all hate him and they've all got their own individual vendettas against him. But yeah, this is an awesome photo. Can't wait to see this scene and many more scenes with them all in this episode. So let's go over to the next photo, which is inside CC Jitters in Central City. We've seen a couple of shots from CC Jitters in the series finale trailers that they've been releasing. We know that Cobalt Blue goes flying through one of the windows and there's a bunch of customers, and I guess they all run out. And I think it's at this point that we're seeing this photo, and this is going to happen in the episode where you have the Flash and Jay Garrick reuniting. I presume they would have reunited already before this, and so they both speed in to try and face off against Cobalt Blue. You can see on the look on their faces, maybe he's kind of just been knocked to the ground and he's getting up, but there's clearly a lot of tension in this scene. Just look at Grant's face. But it's great to see the two Flashes side by side once again. That's actually one of the things that I'm most excited about, just seeing the good speedsters versus the bad speedsters. And I like that they've gone for that rather than just having like Cecile or Allegra team up with the Flash. I just don't think it's as exciting, considering all of the villains Barry is going to be facing off against are going to be speedster villains, so it just makes sense that you have speedsters on your side trying to take them down. As I said before, I'm not sure what point in the episode this is actually at, but I would presume it's somewhere like midway towards the end of the episode, because this is part of the final battle. And the final photo that they have released for the series finale as of right now is this photo. It's inside the Speed Lab. You have the whole of current Team Flash right there, and Keone is talking to Mark. I presume they're all kind of gearing up for this battle. I don't really know what else to think about this apart from, yeah, it's Team Flash minus Iris, because Iris is in the hospital, but they're all going to clearly have to work together to try and stop this major threat, being obviously all of these past speedsters from the past. And I reckon there's going to be a lot around Star Labs about, okay, how can we actually prevent the timeline from completely breaking, because all these speedsters have been brought in from all over time by Cobalt Blue, and he's just using them in order to take the Flash down. He doesn't care about the ramifications of timeline changes or anything like that, so definitely Chester's going to get involved in that. So that does it for the photo segment of this video. Let's go ahead to the EW article that you can find in the description below. I'll leave a link there. And this article is about The Flash and Grant Gustin. It's his cover story. He's on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, and they've actually got a really cool moving video that is in the form of a cover. And so basically in this you get to see Grant with a box that says Flash, and you see his costume, it's hanging over the edge. There is the golden boots. He picks up some old nostalgic items like the Flash's original prototype helmet that was made by Cisco and Harrison Wells in order to try and protect him when he's running. And so I think it's a nice little goodbye cover that is quite nostalgic. Also at the start he picks up a Star Labs mug, which I'm pretty sure all of us have at this point, and it's iconic, you know, but he picks up the Flash ring, and that's the thing that apparently Grant Gustin has kept from the set. That is the kind of inside joke right here. He also stares intently at his costume, and he smiles at the camera, but he doesn't take the costume, but you can definitely tell maybe they have a spare one somewhere hidden. However, recently, Breck Bassinger at a event that I went to in Birmingham said that apparently DC burnt and destroyed all the Stargirl costumes so that they weren't ever broken into and they weren't stolen. I just don't understand why you don't give them to the actors. Like, why not? Like, I understand that there's a risk of giving it to the actors if people break in and find it and sell it. Yeah, there's a problem, but it's not the biggest problem in the entire world. Like, I think it's worse to burn stuff because it's bad for the environment, number one, and also it's just a waste. And so, yeah, I hope they haven't thrown away the Flash suit. Also because it would be great to see Grant return in that very same suit that we leave him with at the end of season 9. And also underneath that Flash costume it says, "Gone in a Flash," which is obviously a teaser towards, you know, him leaving the Flash. I just thought I should include this at the end of the video because it's really interesting and I think a great way for them to kind of round out. Obviously EW has been very involved in promoting the show over the years, and Grant actually said this talking to EW. I knew I was going to keep one thing, but I didn't know what it was going to be. And he says it's the ring, and he says right as we were finishing I was like, this is going to stay in my pocket. And he says now it's in a drawer at home with all my important jewelry. I put it on actually the other day, and this is like 2 months post finishing the Flash, and so this is the one thing, I guess, that it's pretty small, so it's not going to be noticed too much, that he's going to keep from Barry Allen and his adventures as the Flash with him forever, which I think's a very fitting end for Grant Gustin, and I'm happy that he's going to be able to spend time with his family, and he's had a great run. It's been like 10 years since he was on Arrow, so his legacy has already been defined. I look forward to what he's going to do next. Obviously, if he does any interesting projects, we'll talk about it on the channel, but for now, we've got a couple more Flash videos to make as we head towards tomorrow's series finale. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, it's actually happening, so stick around, guys, over the next few days and over the next week or so as we continue to talk about the Flash. Obviously, we'll analyze the episode and break down the individual bits about how they actually end the show later this week. But for now, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It really helps out the channel. Also subscribe and turn on notifications if you're new so you don't miss any daily uploads. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.